with the two last topics real quick. Antonio Brown. For those who don't know who Antonio Brown is, from Marlon, you might not be familiar with Antonio Brown, right? Because you don't watch football. So
No.
Antonio Brown is one of the most famous football players of all time, and one of the best, if not arguably, he could be, but people will refute it, the best wide receiver of all time. Very talented, very elite. He's like I don't know who to compare him to in soccer. Uh, I can maybe say like because he's still young, so maybe like almost like is it Neymar Jr. is a good comparison. So
Neymar, when he started, he was really good. You can see that he's still good. He's still good.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. But in soccer, especially when you don't have the people to play with,
yeah, yeah, you need a good team, you need a good collective. So right now he's playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady as his quarterback. They won a Super Bowl last year together. It was Antonio Brown's first Super Bowl, so he's a Super Bowl winning champion. And aside from that, he's amongst the best of the best. Like his team, they might not win the championship this year, but they're up there. They're on pace to. They could win it again back to back. Who knows? This is a very tricky NFL season. But Antonio Brown has always been in the face of public opinion, like because of everything that he does. He always like has random antics. Alleged I think domestic violence case or something allegedly. We had him actually recently, I think last month or 2 months ago, a fake vaccination card. He brought into the NFL like a fake vaccine card, and he got like fined or was gonna get fined, something like that for that. People were like, "What the fuck is going on?" He always has something. He's a rapper, so he randomly raps and he randomly has rap tracks. You know, and he's just a big name. They call him AB. You know you're big when people call you by your initials instead of your actual uh real name. AB. But there's two ABs if we're talking about it because we do have the boxer Adrian Bronner, who's also be going off the hinges and like be rapping too. Like they're very similar. Like they have very similar careers, which is pretty crazy. And they're young and amongst the best, right? Because Adrian Bronner's he's up there, but Antonio Brown, nonetheless, he had well, many are calling, and you could call a breakdown during the game. He literally, I think it was during the third quarter. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong. He literally took off his jersey, his entire like gear, his pads, everything, his helmet, everything, and just threw it on the sideline and just ran off towards like I think the offensive side, so like towards his team's the away team, so his team Tampa Bay's locker room, and he walked off waving at fans, and he walked into like he left the game fully. And some of the players before he took everything off was like kind of talking to him, trying to calm him down, but then he still left. And the world was shocked and confused. And many were pissed off, especially if you're like a diehard football fan, because you're like, one, again, AB strikes again, right? Another antic, right? Not even just another antic, the biggest of them all. Two, you don't do that to your team during a game. I believe they were already winning. You already had some catches. He had some catches during the previous quarters, right? Because that was one of his things recently where he's always felt like that on teams that he's been on. Because with football, this is the way it works. It's like obviously you have the quarterback and the receivers, but then the receivers, whether you're a tight end or you're a wide receiver, they feel sometimes, especially if you're like a prime athlete, right? Especially famous like AB, you feel like, damn, why aren't you throwing the ball to me? Like you kind of like feel like left out by your quarterback or your coach or some shit, right? And he's always kind of said that, like he left the Steelers, I think with Ben Roethlisberger for that reason, or one of the reasons was that they had like a lot of differences because of that type of energy he would display. Recently, he had that, but it wasn't necessarily with Brady. Allegedly, there's rumors, but that's the thing. When a lot of this shit's confirmed, unconfirmed, well, you can chuck it up for lack of better information. We could say that he did have some sort of differences with them. But let's say he that was the case. During this game specifically, he did get some passes. So it
hmm
wasn't as if like he didn't get no passes or nothing. He was being used, right? And he got some good yardage. Not a crazy amount, but he got good yardage so far. Um, but maybe he does feel this type of way and he's on some like, yo, I'm out of here. Like he literally snapped in that moment. This is some of the craziest shit, if not the craziest shit we've seen in modern sports, especially in the most recent years. This man literally leaving. And now, literally after the game, his coach said he's no longer a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, literally firing him as like publicly, like maybe not paper, maybe as of today, like a day later, he probably did it like legally, but literally in public, in the public eye, is like his career went from 100 to zero, like this. And now is as if he might not ever play in the NFL because you have such a already troubled past. People like you as a receiver. You're an amazing receiver, but you have a very troubled past. Um, and it's like difficult. You're difficult to work with. And this is seen similar with Kyrie, almost with like Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons has like a lot of mental health type of energy and like he's going to therapy. Antonio Brown, you can kind of equate that to that. Like he needs mental help, he needs therapy, you know, he needs rigorous help, I would say. And you want him to be healthy. Like that's what Tom Brady said after, right? Tom Brady wasn't necessarily mad. He said he didn't find out until after the game. He was like, "Oh, I didn't even know until after," and you know, we have friendships that last long. Basically, saying he's still friends with him, and he's like, you know, I just wish the best for him. We got to make sure that he's okay,
Yeah.
and we got to make sure we got to acknowledge that this is serious things happening here. So, sports aside, AB needs some help, right? But just sports, this is the craziest thing any NFL player could do to their career. It's like literally shooting yourself in the foot. Like you're doing it in the public eye. You're literally looking at the camera. It's like as if he knew, like, yo, I'm done and this is it. Like, bye. And then he literally dropped a track, a rap record, hours after that same night. But he didn't talk about nothing that happened. It was like an older song. But it was like, what the fuck is going on? And he was seen like on an elevator with like a random white guy, and the white guy was like, yeah, something, something. And then AB was like, yeah, super gremlin. And then he posted a photo. And the only post that he posted after this so far has been a photo with like his outfit for that day. And he posted super gremlin. So it's like, what? Wait, okay, you're a Kodak Black fan. We get that. But it's like, what the fuck
He
is going
signed.
on here?
He signed into sniper game.
He's signing to like, what's he trying to say? Is this like a rollout? Like, what is going on? And then we have Kodak tweeting and like acknowledging AB and like saying like, no one does that for no reason. He clearly needs some help. Let's not ignore it. Something something. And it's like, damn. Now you got Kodak being more conscious than ever. Kodak doesn't even talk like this. So maybe he's being biased, obviously, because he's like, yo, this motherfucker shouted me out, Super Gremlin. They might know each other behind the scenes. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I know AB has a troubled past. You know, he was a single father, I believe, at one time to his child. Um, he's from the hood. He's said it on many occasions. He grew up rough, right? Obviously, but aside from that, he has faced a lot of head-on collisions. So a lot of people are alluding that this could be CTE. CTE being the side effects of concussions and like what happens in football, which a lot of people suffer from years later. And it can happen at a young age. You know, Aaron Hernandez, there was rumored to be like that's why he committed suicide and that's why he was going crazy because he has a CTE, you know. So who knows? I hope he gets checked for CTE, he gets checked for bipolar, everything, because I hope the man's gonna be okay. He's definitely one of my favorites. I kind of like this fucking crazy energy that he be doing because it brings like attention to him. It's kind of like it's entertaining to be selfish one for 1 second. It's like entertaining. It's not just this simple football like strategic. It's kind of like causing like a disruption. Like you need a
Right.
disruptor sometimes, and he's that disruptor, right? So I like that. And it's almost like wow, like what a way to start the year. Like his that photo of him like going like that with his shirt off on the field is like iconic now to start the year. It's like this is how we're gonna start the year 2022 with a bang. Like what the fuck? And it's almost like resembling of like a lot of what a lot of people wish they could do. Like if you're at your job and you're tired of working there or some shit and you just want to fucking leave and you just leave, like you quit during the actual job. That takes a lot of courage. You know, you gotta have a backup plan. You know, you gotta be ready. Right?
Yeah,
You gotta be
yeah.
ready for that type of shit.
Or you just don't give a fuck about anything.
You just don't give a fuck about nothing. You know, so this is AB, his situation. So I pray for the man. I hope he pulls through. I hope everything turns out to be on the brighter side of things and not the negative side of things because he seems to be active and he seems to be healthy. He's posting and shit, so he could be healthy like physically and obviously, you know, financially he'll figure it out, but he
Mhm.
might not be mentally. You know, this is signs of that because it is disrespectful to the team, it is disrespectful to the league, and it is disrespectful to, you know, to your fans to some degree, if you're like fans of the team, especially, it is disrespectful. But to each their own. You know, he's gonna do it himself. He's gonna do what the fuck he wants, and I kind of like that as well. So it's a double-edged sword for me. So comment down below how do you guys feel about the AB situation? Very, very big topic this week. Big topic this year.
They gon' love me for my ambition.